Good morning, Mr. Harvey. Thank you for agreeing to meet with me today
Morning.
in regards to Connor and his learning. My name's Cassandra. I'm Connor's teacher.
Okay.
So this meeting today, I'm just wanting to discuss with you some of the difficulties that Connor has been experiencing while in my class.
Okay. Yeah.
I have been noticing that he is struggling to engage in the room, in the program with his peers, and he's struggling with language comprehension. I have noticed with a particular focus on receptive language. Do you know what that means?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, so just a brief outline. Receptive language is the language that Connor is receiving. So in order for him to engage in the program, he needs to be able to understand what it is that I'm trying to impart to him. So by focusing on this area, I feel that this will help him to be able to express himself more clearly. He'll be able to understand the language that I'm trying to receive to him, and then this will build on that. So this meeting, what I would like to do is I would like to build a relationship between myself and you, with you being the primary source of support for Connor outside of the learning environment. I feel by us working together and coming up with a mutually beneficial goal, that this will assist Connor in being able to engage in my program.
All right, yeah, fine.
So with Connor's lack of attention in the classroom, I do feel that this is a result of the language barrier that I previously mentioned. By struggling to understand language, he's coming up with that barrier. How do you feel my ability to connect with Connor and facilitate an appropriate learning environment will assist this?
Like I say, he's an active kid, you know, as long as you keep him interested and give him something to do, he's fine.
Okay, so I have noticed one of Connor's strengths is motorbikes.
Yeah,
I do feel incorporating this into my curriculum will help me to be able to connect with Connor and hopefully open up that engagement.
All right, yeah, fine.
I do have some strategies in place in regards to Connor's language, and was hoping that I'd be able to take the time today to go over them with you in the hopes that we'll be able to reach a mutually beneficial goal for Connor. Also, what I would like to do when we review this at a later date, I would like to encourage you to bring along Connor so that he can have a say in the program that I'll be developing for him.
All right, fine, yeah.
I would like to focus my strategies on the receptive language. In the short-term goal, I would like Connor to be able to respond to basic commands. So, come here, sit down,
all right, yeah.
etc., things like that. I would like this to be monitored over 2 to 3 sessions, which would generally be roughly a 2 to 3 week period. My long-term goal with Connor is for him to understand and process receptive language at an age-appropriate level.
Okay.
So the way that I would approach this with my short-term goal is break down the instructions that I give him. From what I have observed, Connor is having difficulty with 2 or more stepped instructions. By breaking that down and just limiting it to 1 to 2 instructions, that will hopefully help him to absorb the information rather than being bombarded with too much information that he can't process. Do you feel that you've noticed this at home when you're giving him instructions?
I see, yeah, it's hard to get his attention, but yeah.
Okay, I do feel that minimising the amount of time he's having to spend absorbing information will hopefully help him to be able to overcome that barrier.
All right.
Maintaining eye contact and being consistent with my language is a teaching strategy that I would like to myself implement so that he can grasp that relationship with me and be able to access the information.
Yeah, this all sounds fine. It's no drama, you know. If it's going to help him along, then yeah, just go with that.
My long-term goal for him, which I previously mentioned about understanding and processing the receptive language, day-to-day activities. So this is where I would seek your input and ask you at home, just in general day-to-day activities that you are doing with him. Just talk with him about them. Perhaps encouraging him, if you go to the shops or the zoo or you're doing something in particular with him, perhaps encourage him to use words to describe it to you. Whether it be he's doing a drawing and you speak with him about that drawing, using consistent language with him, both from myself and from you, will help him to be able to grasp the fundamentals of what's required of him.
Okay.
He has had difficulty connecting with peers. So in my classroom, what I would like to do is pair him with a buddy and provide them with a job. So this will be a positive way for Connor to engage in the program and to connect with that peer.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
that way he'll be able to learn to express his language and start to understand facial recognition, body language, and social cues. I do feel that this will help him with his frustration and be able to connect with peers.
Okay, all right. Fine, sounds good.
What
Good
do
to tell
you
this.
hope to achieve with Connor's learning goals?
Oh, well, if he can start to turn and do things for himself a bit more around us, that'd be great, and not be a little terror. But yeah, like I said, look, you could just told me this when I picked him up, but turn.
Well, the aim of this meeting, I do understand that you're a very busy man and that it can be very difficult to take time out of your day, which is why I appreciate you taking the time now. But by removing background noise is also actually another common strategy in order to facilitate receptive language. So in order for us to be able to come to a mutual understanding and be able to really focus on Connor's ability to learn, we need to enhance the strategies that I've got in place. And by being able to take the time to speak with you one-on-one, I'm showing you, or I'm hoping that I'm showing you that I'm taking on board Connor's frustration, your frustration, and that I'm understanding that there are difficulties in place and I'm working with you and with Connor to overcome them. So this is my ultimate goal. I'm hoping to build a reciprocal relationship with you and with Connor that's going to ultimately help facilitate those short-term and long-term goals, which in turn will help me develop his individual education plan.
All right. Okay. Do you think that'll help him? Would be good. All right then.
I do hope that it will help him, particularly short-term understanding those commands, long-term being able to actually access receptive and expressive language. Do you have any questions for me at the moment in regards to anything that we've discussed?
No, not really. Like I said, you got a plan to help him deal a bit better, so it's all good.
Okay, well, I'd just like to take the time again to thank you for coming down.
Yeah, no problem.
So what I'll do is I'll take this information and I'll develop Connor's individual education plan.
Okay.
And at your earliest convenience within the next month or so, I'd like to organise another meeting with you and with Connor to go over the goals that we've discussed and how they're actually working and being implemented in the program.
All right, no problem.
Thank you for coming down today.
No problem. All right.
Have a lovely day.
You too.
Thank you for coming down.